how do you know if a multifamily is a good deal or not? My name is Mathew Owens, California licensed CPA, full-time real estate investor, and welcome to the Masters of Real Estate YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to talk about the key value add strategies that you can implement when you're looking at a multifamily, and that is the absolute key to knowing if you have a good deal or bad deal when it comes to multifamily investing, is understanding what value add components can you implement to force that appreciation up and increase the value of that asset. And so some of the biggest things you can do, the number one thing, of course, is increasing rents. So if you have a 100-unit building and you are increasing the rents by $100 per unit, for example, you're able to multiply those rents for 12 months and divide it by the cap rate to see your increase in rents, of course, after management fees and things like that, and your increase in values associated with those rents, because multifamilies are valued based on how much money they make you. So, of course, focusing on the key income attributes where you can increase rents and finding ways to decrease expenses is the best way to increase your value on a multifamily asset and, be able to go through and force that appreciation up. So looking at the increase in rents is the number one thing you should be looking at when you are investing in a multifamily to determine if it's a good deal or not. You are going to be looking at what market rents and market operations are going to look like when you're analyzing a deal versus what the current rents are on a deal. So it's much more important to know what you can improve that value to and improve the cash flow to versus what current operations are when you're looking at one of these deals to determine if it's a good deal or not in the first place. So one of the other key attributes associated with this is increasing the number of units. A lot of times you can add additional buildings to your space, especially in markets like California, where you have new ADU laws and things like that, where you can add additional dwelling units to your multifamily and, of course, increase cash flow, increase profitability, and therefore increasing the value of your building at the same time. Now, this is a great strategy when it comes to mobile home parks, because a lot of times there's empty mobile home lots that you can fill and things like that, but it's also attributable to multifamily, and even being able to take units and split them in different ways and add additional units depending on the laws in that state, of course, can be key. One of the other big things is looking at all the other little income strategies that you can deploy when you are investing in the multifamily. Like, for example, parking. Can you charge for parking? Can you charge for storage and add additional storage units? What about pet fees and things like that? So is there any other upsells that you can do? Having a wireless package, having those types of amenities that you can upsell and create additional revenue streams that you can bring in for your investment. Some of the other things that you can do is finding ways of reducing your expenses. And one of the biggest expenses associated with multifamily is utilities. So understanding that, hey, many times the water might be paid by the landlord, the electrical might have some common area utilities associated with it. There's ways of implementing what's called RUBS programs and being able to bill these things back to the actual tenants and monitor those things. Even the water now can be billed back to those tenants in different ways, even on a big multifamily. Now, you want to check the area. Sometimes you're trading off utilities versus a little bit of a rent increase. So understanding where your limits are there and doing it over a period of time can be key to being able to successfully pull off a RUBS program and a utility bill back type program. Okay. So also looking at the efficiency of property management. How fast are they releasing these units? How quick are they able to get them rent ready and re-rented for a higher amount? These are some of the things key when you're talking about management efficiencies across the board that you want to take a look at. Okay. So in addition to that, looking at the preventative maintenance. What major issues do you have on the preventative maintenance front that you need to make sure are taken care of up front, so you don't have a massive amount of repairs on the back end that are hurting operations and then therefore hurting your value on the back end there too. Real key strategies to look at when you are analyzing a building, to say, what is my capital improvements? What major line items, property, are the roofs, the plumbing, the electrical, the HVAC systems, the appliances, all those key little items, those key or big ticket items that can cost you money because they're nearing the end of their useful life. So you want to make sure that you allocate for those up front in your capital expenditures and don't necessarily include them in your operational performance, because those are capital expenditures you're putting into the property. So making sure that you have that preventative maintenance in place is key. Now, what about property taxes? This is a big issue that a lot of investors mess up on. They forget to increase property taxes to the current market, what you're buying that building for, and understanding how the cities analyze property taxes and how they go through and make sure that they're not going to go and project wrong on the new increase in property taxes based on your basis. Now, there's deals you can make with different cities where you can get property tax abatements and all that kind of stuff too. So things like that you can put in place to automatically improve value. You can get city, state tax credits, of course, and federal tax credits for doing certain renovations to bigger projects, or keeping certain requirements in place. You can do depreciation and cost segregation studies to change the form of the money and be able to shift a lot of taxes off of your private investors' plate. So that's another value attribute a lot of people don't realize when they are investing in real estate, is understanding the cost segregation studies and mitigating taxes there. And then, of course, restructuring property management and decreasing payroll can be key across the board, and looking at every single little line item on your expenses and every single income item to make sure that you are not missing anything with regard to a value play or an expense reduction. So I hope this helped you guys. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you like this content. Look forward to working with you guys in the future, and I will talk with you soon.